In this video I'm gonna beat Plants vs Zombies 2 using only plants from PVZ 1, the Pirate Seas part. If you haven't watched the first part, I highly recommend you to do it. Now our journey begins. Enjoy! Day 1. I really love Pirate Seas since the release of the game. It gives me an amazing vibe. I like all the zombies here, the level design, etc. When the game was released, the first 3 worlds had their own unique vibe that I don't feel in any of other worlds. I still miss the old map design and the key system to unlock the additional levels. Nostalgia is a good thing, but let's come back to reality. I always liked Day 1 in every single world, because this level gives you time to feel the vibe of the coming adventure. After beating that level, we received our first useful plant from this world, the kernel pult. Day 2. I can see for sure that stopping zombies with butter is one of the funniest things that exist in that game. Freezing? Nah, it's boring. But butter? Yes, cause zombies look so clumsy with butter on their heads. Day 3. I always try to comment only the necessary things, skipping all the boring moments. And that level wasn't an exception, because that level is the full copy of the Day 1. The only difference is that I planted a lot of different bodies, and I also received another useless plant. Snapdragon. Bro, you're the cool one, but I won't use you today. Sorry. Day 4. The first level was the Buckethead Zombie. On that level I decided to have some fun and plant only kernel pults and cabbage pults. Man, it was a bit harder than I thought it would be. But anyway, we have successfully completed that level. Day 5. I'm not a big fan of plants that make the game easier. For example, potato mine. For me it's more exciting to stop the zombies without such plants. I like to destroy the first zombies, for example with repeaters. That level was fully dedicated to them. On Day 6 I really felt the lack of plants that make the splash damage. I miss you, Snapdragon. Sometimes it becomes really hard to stop the horde of zombies because I don't have any opportunities to make splash damage. Only 2 things save my ass in this situation: butter and walnuts. After Day 6 I got one of the most useful plants in my playthrough, the spike wheat. Dude, which costs only 100 cents, but makes so much profit. Day 7 was about using it in the greatest combination with kernel pult. Those 2 guys made this day along with the repeaters. My gameplay became less repeatable, so now I can say even more about every single level. Day 8 was the conveyor belt level. The only plant which I couldn't use was Snapdragon, but even without him I could easily defeat gargantuars using only spikeweeds and kernel pults. Day 9 was even more about spikeweeds. Another great combo is a line of spikeweeds and a single walnut at the end of this line. Only few zombies will get to the walnuts to bite a piece of his shell. It was the first level where the lawn was fully covered with the plants. Oh, and I got Spring Bean, which is kinda useless today. Day 10 was the first level with 3 waves. I expected it to be harder, but nevertheless, I have fully repeated my tactic from Day 9 and it worked. Day 11. I decided to make myself a small challenge. I wanted to build this level with only default pea shooters. My defense strategy collapsed only on one line, but in the end I rebuilt it and successfully finished that level, after which I unlocked another useless plant. Here I wanna introduce you the coconut cannon. This world is full of useless plants, and I'm not satisfied with that. Day 12. I don't really like this minigame. I find it boring and there is no reason anymore to get the high score here, because in the end you won't get a bunch of coins. As for me, it's one of the worst levels in the entire game. On Day 13 I decided to plant only spikeweeds and walnuts. The pears have annoyed me a bit, but it didn't stop me from putting spikeweeds on every single free place on the lawn. Guess what? This strategy worked as well. Day 14. The last stand. Here I created my new strategy to beat this level. During the whole day, I had the feeling of missing the Snapdragon. The only thing that I would change here is removing spike wheels from the water lines and replacing them with another kernel pult or cabbage pult. At the end of this level, I unlocked 3-peater. A new plant means new strategies. Day 15. This is my very best chance to improve the experience of playing this challenge. I rented the torchwood. Gosh, using the torchwood with the 3-peater is one of the best combos in the entire game. It almost feels like cheating, but legally. On day 16 I got the same suggestion. I couldn't miss that opportunity. Plus, I needed to defend the sprint bins on that level, and torchwood really helped me with that. In the early versions of the game, the torchwood wasn't nearly as cool as it is right now. Plus, it was a premium plant. 10 years ago it couldn't damage zombies and didn't have that jalapeno effect right after his death. So now, for me, the torchwood is one of the best plants in the entire game. Day 17. As we progress, the levels become much more interesting. I have finally started to feel them a bit challenging, especially without using any certain plants such as sprint beans and potato mines. Day 18 was the day without sunflowers, but that wasn't a problem for us, because we could use most of the given plants. I really like the idea of such levels without sunflowers, but if I recall correctly, that is the only level of that kind, and that's pretty sad. I would like to see such a level at Big Wave Beach, one of my favorite worlds in the entire game. After finishing that level we unlocked Spike Rock, so now we have to say goodbye to the Spikeweed, cause we received a better version of it. Bro, you truly made my life better, but your time has ended up. Welcome to the club, Spike Rock. Day 19 was the same day as day 1 or day 3, but with a small challenge. During it I wanna tell you a thing. It's a bit philosophical moment, but nevertheless. It's an interesting experience to play the game of your childhood many years later. When PVZ 2 was released in 2013, I was 10 years old, a young boy who was a big fan of Plants vs Zombies 1. Now I'm almost 21. I grew up and my life has changed a lot, but things like PVZ 2 and Minecraft still connect me with my past. I'm happy to have such things like that game that connect me with my past. Day 20. For this level I rented Snow Pea, one of my favorite plants from PVZ 1 in PVZ 2. I don't really understand why did they make it a premium plant. Seriously, as for me, there is no reason to make it premium. It would be more logical to see Winter Melon as a premium plant instead of Snow Pea. But nevertheless, I really liked this level because of using it. The first ice plant in this PVZ 2 campaign. Day 21. I had to produce some sun, but for me it wasn't even a challenge. With a bunch of repeaters, kernel pults and 3-peaters, we have successfully beat that level. Day 22. I have already known the working tactic for this level, but instead I wanted to try something new in this challenge. And guess what? I have failed this attempt right at the end of the level. So instead I used the boring tactic of building only spikes and a column of walnuts. Day 23. The end of Pirate Seas is near. It was an easy level, like too easy for one of the last levels in the world. Day 24. Here I had to save these sprint beans. I used my main tactic. I built a column of kernel pults and combined it with columns of repeaters and 3-peaters. And I also used some spikes. If you think that we completed Pirate Seas, nah. Here comes the most interesting part. Fighting with Zomboss. Day 25. Well, it wasn't as hard as in ancient Egypt. Here I had only several attempts before beating Zomboss. The main problem for me was digging out coconut cannons and snapdragons. The main damage to Zomboss was caused by 3-peaters and cherry bombs. Spikeweeds and kernel pults played a significant role in stopping hordes of zombies. I'm sure that this level is beatable from the very first attempt, but I wasn't lucky enough to do it from the first try. Anyways, the key is mine, and that means that we are moving to the Wild West, another 25 levels, and the main goal here is to finally get one of the best plants in the entire Plants vs Zombies 2, the Winter Melon.